We each have a tendency to harbor a touch of grumpiness within us, and there are days when we simply crave solitude. Retreating into our own minds and avoiding the bothersome presence of others. However, some people take their aversion to anything beyond themselves or their immediate surroundings to the extreme. Join us as we introduce you to the 15 homes of people who hate the outside world. Number 15. Elliday Island. The world's loneliest house is a small white building on Elliday Island, a small plot of land south of Iceland. Someone who dares to live here must really despise the outside world. Being the only building on the deserted island, it has attracted several myths over the years, some of which are rather ridiculous. According to one rumor, the house was built by a billionaire who planned to move to the secluded island in the event of a zombie apocalypse. Other people suggest a religious hermit might live there. At the same time, another popular theory states that the Icelandic government had gifted the island to singer Björk. Nevertheless, the real story behind this mysterious house is far less exciting than the myths surrounding it. The Elliday Hunting Association built the small white building as a base to hunt puffins that feed on the abundant fish in the waters around the island. The house serves as a hunting base for the group to support their activities on the island. Elliday, part of the Vestmannaeyjar archipelago, is now deserted but was inhabited roughly 300 years ago. The 5 families who lived there relied on fishing, hunting puffins, and raising cattle. By the 1930s, the last residents left the island, and it has been deserted ever since. The property does not have electricity, running water, or indoor plumbing on the remote island. However, it has a sauna that is fed by a natural rainwater collection system. The island is also classified as a nature reserve and protected area. Tour companies offer day trips to Elliday for tourists who want to explore its natural environment. Visitors can witness the diverse bird species, which include Arctic fulmars, guillemots, and, of course, puffins. The island is an unpopulated piece of land that offers a peaceful and beautiful retreat surrounded by nature. It is an ideal place to get away from busy city life and experience the remoteness and isolation of the Icelandic wilderness. The mysterious house on Elliday Island may not live up to the myths circulated around it, but its remoteness and isolation make it an attractive destination for tourists worldwide. The house on this lonely island remains somewhat of a mystery, but its views are breathtakingly beautiful and tranquil. The pristine nature, the picturesque wildlife, and the stunning scenery make Elliday Island a unique and unforgettable experience for every visitor. Number 14. Village of Gasadolor. The village of Gasadolor on the remote Faroe Islands is an excellent option for those who want to get away from mundane life and hectic, overwhelming schedules. However, it poses a unique problem for anyone who wants to make a home there. Situated amidst a ring of imposing mountains and overlooking the turbulent sea, this tiny village presents a daunting prospect to anyone who wants to access it. For the longest time, the only way to reach Gasadolor was by hiking over treacherous mountain terrain over 2,000 feet high, followed by a miles-long trek. If that wasn't enough, the other option was to clamber up a giant rock face from a boat. The reality is that for anyone who wanted to make a life in Gasadolor, these were the choices they faced. Despite the difficulties, the village of Gasadolor holds a distinctive allure for those who seek isolation and solitude. The remoteness of its location means that there is very little human interference, which is an appealing factor for those who wish to disconnect from the world's stresses and distractions. However, such isolation comes with a hefty price. The challenging conditions pose a significant physical challenge and could take a toll on anyone brave enough to attempt them. The tiny village of Gasadolor has only recently been discovered, and it was only in 2012 that a mere 18 people called it home. The area is landlocked, so the handful of people working the land have to rely on their resources to survive. But the story doesn't end there. There is hope for the villagers to increase their population. Thanks to the construction of a new tunnel blasted into the mountains, vehicle access is now possible, which could lead to an influx of people. Even with this new development, living in Gasadolor is still not for the faint-hearted. The village lies on the Faroe Islands, which can be found a few hundred miles off the coast of Scotland. The tiny archipelago is known for its weather, which can be unpredictable and harsh at times. The rugged terrain, combined with inclement weather, can be a real challenge to anyone who wants to live on the islands. The village of Gasadolor may appeal to those who seek solitude and isolation. The village's unusual location presents a real challenge for anyone who wishes to access it, but this only adds to its charm. The recent construction of a tunnel means that Gasadolor may see an increase in its population. However, the harsh conditions of the Faroe Islands and the rugged terrain will always present challenges, making living in Gasadolor a truly extraordinary experience. Number 13. Casa de Pinedo. Casa de Pinedo is a unique and unconventional dwelling located in the Faith Mountains of Portugal. It is an amazing architectural wonder. This house is made entirely of stone, including its roof, walls, and even its furniture, and boasts a rustic charm that is hard to find in modern homes. However, what makes this house particularly appealing to socially inept people is its seclusion and privacy. The house was built in 1974 by a Portuguese engineer who wanted to create a house that would blend in with its natural surroundings. The location of Casa de Pinedo stone house is also pretty unusual. It is situated in a remote area of the Faith Mountains, far away from any major cities or towns. This makes it an ideal retreat for those who prefer solitude and peace. The house is surrounded by trees and is accessible only by a narrow dirt road. This isolation adds to the magic and appeal of the house, as it offers a peaceful and serene environment for those who visit. Moreover, the house is designed in such a way that it provides ample space for its occupants to engage in solitary activities. It has a large living room, a cozy fireplace, and comfortable bedrooms, all of which are perfect for reading, writing, or simply relaxing. The history of Casa de Pinedo Stonehouse is shrouded in mystery. Some believe it was built as a secret hideout during the Portuguese dictatorship, while others believe it was built as a weekend retreat for the engineer and his family. Regardless of its origins, the house has become a popular tourist attraction in recent years, drawing visitors from all over the world who come to marvel at its remarkable design and remote location. Casa de Pinedo Stonehouse is an excellent choice for socially inept people who want to disconnect from the world and enjoy quiet time alone. Its marvelous architecture, stunning location, and peaceful ambiance make it the perfect dwelling for those who prefer their own company. Number 12. Siberian Wilderness. The Siberian Wilderness is gorgeous yet chillingly desolate. For miles on end, all you see is an endless expanse of snow and ice-covered earth. It's a place where the wind howls with a lonesome cry, and the silence echoes with solitude. In this land of extremes, there are a few settlements that are so remote and barren that they cause heartache. Yet, some people choose to live in these sparse and isolated places, like Agafia Likova. Agafia was born in 1944 into a family that had fled religious persecution by Soviet forces in 1936. Her parents and siblings had set up their home in the middle of nowhere, 150 miles away from the nearest town. They lived a life of scarcity, with the bit of food they could grow, hunt, and gather. When Agafia was born, it only added to their struggles to survive. Despite these difficulties, Agafia's family chose to remain in their whittled-down settlement in the wilderness. By the time they were discovered by chance in 1978, only Agafia and her father were still alive. Despite offers to take them back to civilization, the Likovas steadfastly refused. They had lived in the wilderness for so long that it had become their home, their shelter. Agafia's father passed away in 1988, but his daughter didn't leave the remote settlement they called home. Agafia is now in her 70s, living by herself in the settlement. She catches fish, forages for food, looks after her goats and chickens, and prepares firewood to keep herself warm during the harsh winters. It's not an easy life, but to Agafia, it's her life. She has refused to leave the wilderness that has become her home, saying that the few times she's visited the towns and cities, the air and water made her sick, and the busy roads frightened her. Agafia's unusual home is both haunting and incredible. She has carved out a life for herself in a place where few people can imagine themselves surviving. Her persistence, resilience, and determination are a testimony to the human spirit. Her story reminds us that life isn't about possessions, money, or comfort, but about finding joy in the things that matter the most. Number 11. Korowai tree houses. The Korowai tree houses in New Guinea have a captivating history. Prior to their encounter with anthropologists in the 1970s, the Korowai people of West Papua had no knowledge of societies beyond their own. Living in seclusion, these forest-dwelling individuals, with a population of approximately 3,000 today, developed a remarkably distinct culture. Although the Korowai now occasionally welcome guests, Their historical skepticism towards outsiders is evident. One needs only direct their gaze upwards within the settlements to witness the extraordinary sight of tree homes perched in the canopy. These exceptional abodes, crafted from banyan or wandam trees, can reach staggering heights of up to 114 feet. However, it is essential to note that the construction of these elevated dwellings is not solely intended to evade ground-level visitors. While not all Korowai reside in treetop houses, those who do enjoy a respite from the persistent swarms of mosquitoes below. Additionally, they benefit from the shelter provided by the tree houses and the panoramic views that allow them to assess the character and intentions of approaching outsiders from a safe distance. Therefore, while the primary purpose of these tree houses is not to avoid guests, it is safe to assume that the Korowai appreciate the option of retreating to their elevated abodes when seeking moments of solitude and introspection. These unique structures provide them with a sanctuary amidst the treetops, offering a break from the demands of social interaction. Number 10. Port Lochroy. Port Lochroy, located in Antarctica, offers a striking departure from the fast-paced and bustling nature of modern city living. It is a place that epitomizes seclusion and tranquility, providing a stark contrast to the chaotic world we often find ourselves in. Among all the possible locations to establish oneself on the coldest continent on Earth, Port Lochroy serves as an excellent choice for those seeking isolation. Situated in a bay within an archipelago north of the Antarctic mainland, this unique destination harbors the world's southernmost operational post office. Once a research station, it has now transformed into a popular stop-off point for boats venturing into Antarctica, even though it remains partially encased in sea ice for an extensive portion of the year. Life in Port Lochroy revolves around the post office and its accompanying gift shop, managed by a modest staff of around 4 individuals. As the primary residents of the port, these dedicated individuals must navigate the challenges of living without the comforts and conveniences of modern society. They must harmoniously coexist within a small and tightly knit community, displaying the ability to thrive in solitude and adapt to a simple way of life. However, humans are not the only permanent residents on the island. Penguins, who also call this area their home, provide a constant source of amusement and fascination. Nevertheless, the workers at the port have the unusual responsibility of scrubbing away penguin excrement, ensuring that it doesn't find its way into the post office. Unfortunately, the absence of hot shower facilities means that cleaning up after this task can be a challenge, unless a visiting ship happens to offer such amenities. In fact, Port Lochroy lacks many modern amenities altogether. There is no running water, access to main electricity, or internet connectivity. The inhabitants of the port rely entirely on supplies delivered by visiting ships. Even the restroom facilities are rudimentary, with a simple bucket that is emptied into the sea. However, despite these limitations, those who work at Port Lochroy find solace in the relative seclusion and draw immense satisfaction from witnessing spectacular sunsets that make all the hardships worthwhile. Number 9. Moonhole Home. In the midst of the turquoise waters and lush vegetation of the Bacchia Grenadine lies a hidden gem that every creative soul would yearn for: the Moonhole Home. Pictured in all its glory, this eccentric abode is more than just a shelter. It's a masterpiece that exudes innovation, resourcefulness, and ingenuity in every nook and cranny. The first thing that catches the eye is its name, Moonhole. It's evocative and intriguing, with a hint of mystery and magic. As you delve deeper into the image, you can't help but feel drawn to the eclectic mix of structures that make up the house. There's a sense of harmony and unity despite the apparent randomness of each component, and that's what makes it so captivating. At the forefront of the house stands a magnificent slab of rock that seems to have existed for centuries. But as your eyes wander to the back, you realize that the house was built around this rock, as if it was the pivot that held everything together. It's the mouthpiece of the creativity of the residents who didn't let the natural obstacles hinder their vision. The house in the back is a marvel in itself. It was constructed using materials that were either washed ashore or found in the surroundings. One cannot help but be amazed at the resourcefulness and innovation that went into making this structure. Whale bones, local wood, and other miscellaneous objects were used to create a structure that blends in perfectly with the environment. As you look closer, you can see the intricate details of each component. The whale bones were used as support beams, while the wood was crafted into intricate patterns that added an artistic element to the house. The result is a vivid and varied structure that captures the imagination of anyone who lays eyes on it. One can't help but feel a tinge of envy at the possibility of residing in a house like this. It testifies to human creativity and the ability to adapt to any situation. Being trapped on a tropical island for years would be a daunting task. Still, the residents of Moonhole prove that anything is possible with imagination, resourcefulness, and a can-do attitude. As we gaze at this image, we can't help but wonder what other marvels lie hidden in the depths of the Bacchia Grenadine. The Moonhole Home beckons us with its allure, and we can only hope to witness it in person one day. Number 8. Solvay Hut. Are you a fan of heights and fascinating views that make you feel like you're on top of the world? If so, then you must pack your bags and head over to Zermatt, Switzerland, to witness the incredible view that the Solvay Hut has to offer. This mountain lodge sits over 13,000 feet above sea level, making it the highest building in the entire region. The Solvay Hut is a small yet sturdy mountain hut that was built way back in 1915 and owns a beautiful old architectural charm. The spectacular view you see in the image is what you would get every morning with your daily coffee. Imagine waking up to the unobstructed panorama of the surrounding mountains and valleys stretching before your eyes. It's a sight that will leave you feeling grateful for the beauty of the world. But don't think that it's an easy job to get there. You will have to trek through the northeastern ridge of the Matterhorn, which is no mean feat. If you manage to conquer the challenging terrain, you will have somewhere to rest your head with 9 other friends, since the mountain lodge houses 10 people at a time. Can you imagine the conversations, laughter, and bonding that would take place in such a picturesque setting? The Solvay Hut offers an unforgettable experience that will create memories to last a lifetime. And if you bring one more friend along, we're sure they could find a place to sleep on the floor. After all, who wouldn't want to experience a view like this, even if it means sleeping in unconventional places? So if you're up for an adventure and crave a view that will leave you breathless, then the Solvay Hut in Zermatt, Switzerland is the place for you. Pack your bags, lace up your hiking boots, and let the mountain breeze carry you to a place where the world feels right at your feet. Number 7. Monastery on Kakheti Pillar. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to take a thrilling ride into one of the world's most extraordinary monasteries, the Kakheti Pillar Monastery in Chitara, Georgia. But be warned, this isn't your average place of worship. With a location far above the ground floor, you need to be the bravest of the brave and have a head for heights even to attempt to make it up there. Nestled on top of a gigantic natural limestone monolith, the Kakheti Pillar Monastery towers intimidatingly above the surrounding landscape. The jaw-dropping image shows how the monastery was raised up into the sky, making it one of the most unique zip codes on the planet. But if you're courageous enough to take on the nerve-wracking pilgrimage, you will be in for an ancient experience that words fail to do justice to. And if you're lucky, you might even stumble upon an old bottle or two in the monastery's ancient wine cellar. But be sure to stay away from the edges while indulging in celebratory drinks. A tumble down those steep cliffs will be no fun at all. Now, while being one with the divine is a fascinating concept, one must also remember there are consequences for being careless. So, unless you're well versed in the art of levitation, the Kakheti Pillar Monastery isn't for the faint of heart. There's no hospital nearby, and if you happen to take a wrong step, your destiny isn't looking too bright. The Kakheti Pillar Monastery is an awe-inspiring work of architecture set in an unusual and remote location. While it's tempting to quench your thirst for adventure, one must remember that safety is your top priority while visiting this breathtaking site. If you visit this one-of-a-kind monastery, take a deep breath, enjoy the view, and prepare to leave with unforgettable memories. It can be your fabulous getaway from your day-to-day activities and monotonous routine. Number 6. Ocean Restaurant. Ocean Restaurant Zanzibar offers a haven for individuals seeking respite from the bustling world, or those who simply prefer solitude over crowded spaces. Typically, a restaurant may not be the ideal solution for such individuals, but fortunately, The Rock in Zanzibar, Tanzania, has crafted a perfect sanctuary to cater to their needs. Perched on a solitary rock in the Indian Ocean, this unique dining establishment ensures privacy and seclusion. During high tide, the rock transforms into a secluded mini-island, reachable by a brief boat ride or a leisurely swim to its weathered wooden steps. While it can also be accessed on foot during low tide, those who value their privacy will likely opt for the enchanting experience of being surrounded by the shimmering turquoise waters throughout their meal. And who could resist the allure of the rock? With its picturesque patio, an array of of refreshing cocktails and fine wines readily available, and a delectable menu showcasing fresh seafood, this restaurant truly embodies an idyllic retreat. Furthermore, it caters perfectly to those who desire attentive table service while minimizing interactions with the general public. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. Although the occupants of this residence remain unknown, one thing is sure: they possess a strong distaste for other people. As far as we know, it belongs to an elderly couple who used their accumulated wealth to construct this dwelling over many years. According to reports, as soon as the construction was completed, they immediately retreated into seclusion and have not been seen or heard from since. The picture leaves many puzzling questions, like how they manage groceries and if running water, electricity, and gas are available, which is highly unlikely since the location is so remote. Could you imagine living in such isolation? Or do you find the presence of friends and social connections indispensable? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Number 5. Volcano House. Volcano House, located in the heart of a desert, offers an unparalleled refuge for those who cherish solitude. This extraordinary dwelling, designed by architect Harold Bissner Jr. in 1968, stands as a testament to the allure of isolation. Nestled in the sparsely populated town of Newberry Springs, California, the Volcano House was meticulously crafted to provide its residents with an oasis of seclusion, surrounded by a 360-degree vista of the vast desert expanse. Reminiscent of an otherworldly UFO adrift on a desolate planet, this dwelling rests atop a cinder cone formed by ancient volcanic material that once traversed the depths of the earth. Rest assured, the cone is now completely inert, serving as a majestic vantage point for the dome-shaped house that crowns its summit. Spanning over 60 acres of land, the property offers unobstructed views of the captivating landscape through floor-to-ceiling glass walls, granting glimpses of a private lake and the breathtaking desert beyond. Within the abode, meticulously crafted curved wooden beams, exposed brickwork, and exquisite fireplaces and furnishings adorn the space, basking in the gentle glow of natural daylight streaming through the expansive sliding glass windows and doors. Not only does this dwelling keep its residents distanced from the outside world, but it also provides them with a panoramic observation of intruders seeking to breach their sanctuary. Resembling the lair of a nefarious Bond villain, it offers an ideal setting to contemplate wicked schemes or simply unwind while immersing oneself in the captivating scenery. Whatever one's inclination may be, the Volcano House presents a fantastic retreat that embodies the essence of seclusion and glorious solitude. Number 4. Hidden Homes. Are you tired of the constant noise and hustle-bustle of the outside world constantly lingering at your door? Do you crave the tranquility of solitude in your own home? Perhaps the answer lies in blending in with your surroundings, and few people have mastered this art better than the residents of the Nordic region. Their turf houses, found in different variations throughout Scandinavia and Iceland, look like they sprouted up from the earth itself. These houses are built with a birch timber frame that is filled in with peat or turf blocks, forming the walls. But the real magic happens when the natural grass growing there is allowed to grow out, adding an extra layer of insulation against their chilly northern climate. Some residents even plant trees in the fertile turf on the roofs of their homes, which not only look lovely, but also provide environmentally friendly insulation. The only downside? The extra weight often warps the building below, adding a unique and organic twist to the architecture. These beautiful homes were not designed to hide away from the world, but instead were built for practical reasons, using the materials readily available in the surrounding areas. However, their stealthy architecture often makes them hard to spot, and some even seamlessly blend into the mountain ranges they're nestled against. This construction style has its origins traced back to the traditional homes of the Sami people, who've inhabited Sweden, Finland, and Norway for thousands of years. While their abodes are more hut-like, the similarities between these traditional homes and the more modern-day turf houses are pretty apparent in their wooden and peat construction. So, if you're tired of the constant intrusions of the outside world into your personal space, find yourself a spot, grab a shovel, and start building a turf house. These natural abodes will provide you with a sense of escape and tranquility that you'll be hard-pressed to find anywhere else. Number 3. Chateau Artisan. While certain residences ensure their seclusion by being situated amidst lakes, rivers, or oceans, others employ a more inventive approach involving water. Enter the magnificently opulent Chateau Artisan, a colossal French-style mansion constructed in Miami in 2007. The The creation of this architectural masterpiece involved excavating 5 acres of land to fashion a moat encircling the entire property, thus granting access solely through the main entrance or by boat. With a construction cost of $12,800,000, this estate justifies its extravagance by providing an abundance of amenities, leaving you wanting nothing and disinclined to venture elsewhere. Stepping outside, you'll be captivated by the spectacular gardens, featuring secluded lounging areas accessible only by stepping stones and a picturesque koi pond, not to mention the expansive pool located at the rear. As you step inside, you'll discover 6 exquisitely adorned bedrooms, a luxuriously furnished all-mahogany kitchen, a state-of-the-art movie room, spacious living areas, and a relaxing hot tub. All these elements converge to create a haven that is distinctly segregated from the outside world. Number 2. Martin Castle. Back in 1969, the construction of this uniquely designed castle commenced near Lexington, Kentucky. Flexing colossal walls, an expansive perimeter, and guard towers that seem to challenge anyone attempting an unauthorized entry, Martin Castle serves as an idyllic haven for those who value their privacy. This fortress-like structure was erected as a tangible manifestation of a coal industry magnate's fascination with European castles, ignited by his wife's enchantment during their honeymoon expedition. However, before the castle could reach completion, the couple's marriage ended, leaving the crestfallen husband with an unfinished stronghold in his possession. Given the circumstances, one can easily envision a despondent man isolating himself within the castle's walls, determined to shut out the outside world. Yet reality took a slightly different turn. Local whispers suggest that he never actually took up residence in the castle. Still, his heartbreak massively delayed the sale of the property, causing it to remain unclaimed until 2003. Until its sale, this sturdily constructed edifice stood in eerie abandonment for decades. It has been transformed into a luxurious hotel and event venue, offering splendid accommodation, breathtaking dining halls, a library, sports courts, and a swimming pool. This transformation renders the place far more inviting than its imposing walls and turrets might imply. Number 1. Polish Safe House. When it comes to safeguarding your dwelling from unwelcome intruders, few measures are as effective as the Safe House located in Warsaw, Poland. Designed with the utmost security in mind, this remarkable abode flaunts automated sliding walls, robust window shutters, and even a drawbridge that grants access to the separate swimming pool building without the need to descend the stairs. Furthermore, it is equipped with integrated solar energy storage, allowing the inhabitants to achieve high self-sufficiency with minimal reliance on external resources, apart from the occasional trip to the local grocery store. The sturdy perimeter walls ensure that not even the postman can approach without obtaining explicit permission from the homeowner. And for moments when complete isolation from the outside world is desired, the shutters and walls can be closed, enveloping the entire residence in a colossal cocoon of concrete. Impressive, isn't it? We hope you enjoyed watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.